Oh, Ilana, thank you so much. But you know what, when it comes to making tea, I really do make a mean one. But tea has become almost like a hug in a cup and a part of the world's heritage. I don't know if you know this, but when you put in your milk and your sugar, you don't stir the tea. Rather, you fold the tea bag in 3 or 4 times. And when you take the spoon out, you place it on the right side of the saucer. I know, I can't believe I learned all of this stuff. But Ewan was invited to the one and only hotel for afternoon tea. And let's go and find out what he learned.
Interesting fact, historically speaking, only men were allowed in coffee and tea houses in the public up until the late 1700s. But today, tea is the second most consumed beverage around the world. And on average, 30 billion cups of tea are consumed on a daily basis. And as such an integral part of our heritage, it's hardly surprising.
Yes, after water, tea is the world's best loved beverage. South Africa is the only place where rooibos tea is grown, and it's now all the rage in health-conscious countries like Japan.
Douglas, on the topic of tea, I'm very excited to find out about how tea fits into the South African heritage. But let's start from the beginning. Where does tea originate from?
Tea originated in the 8th century in China. Tea really only was introduced into Europe in the 1500s through the Portuguese. Only in the late 1700s and early 1800s were the British introduced to tea from China.
Wow, that's very interesting, because if you think tea, you would think it's a British thing.
No, it doesn't. All teas generally are grown in China and in India. Some teas grown in Africa, but a majority of the teas coming out of China and India today.
In the UK, you get a light tea, you get the royal tea, you get a high tea and an afternoon tea. But for us South Africans, that seems very confusing. What does it all mean?
High tea, in actual fact, is the wrong term to use. Afternoon tea is the correct term. Having something to drink between lunch and your evening dinner. That was regarded as high tea. Royal tea, generally served with a 4-course meal. A light tea, naturally, the same menu, excluding the finger snacks.
And bringing it back to South African soil, with it being Heritage Month, how is tea part of our heritage?
Today, tea is drunk by many South Africans, young and old. Teas offer many health benefits, and I think that is leading the way to the tea volumes increasing.
The number of different specialty teas available in South Africa has grown dramatically over recent years.
You can just choose any of these. These ones are the herbal teas. These are the flavors of the rooibos. We've got also the black teas. These two are the fruit teas and also the green teas.
What would you suggest?
I suggest that we go for a black tea and the vanilla infusion. Sounds good.
I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Black tea has been served with milk ever since the 1600s, and Parmalat Everfresh milk is the perfect accompaniment, along with a few simple rules of conduct.
Douglas, I know that when it comes to the actual drinking of tea, there's a certain etiquette connected to it. What are some of the major do's and don'ts?
Definitely don't fill the cup to the rim. That's the first thing. Second thing is no dunking of the tea bag in and out of the teacup. Also no swirling of the tea like you would normally with a wine glass. Just not it's a no-no. Don't put your pinky in the air.
That's very interesting, because I thought the pinky in the air is like a given.
No, definitely not.
Next tip, you need to judge the strength of the tea by its color. So, always pour your Parmalat Everfresh milk into the cup after the tea.
One last interesting thing is never ever keep your saucer and your cup more than 12 inches apart.
That is very interesting. Douglas, thank you so much. So the main things to remember: never ever fill your teacup to the brim. Under no circumstance dunk your tea bag in and out of the water. And never ever put your pinky in the air. You will be fined.
Oh, I love coffee.
But I like tea.
I love coffee, I love tea. I love the coffee that loves me. Coffee and tea and jelly and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup.
But the question is tea really good for you? Let's find out.
Try Parmalat Everfresh in its new easy-to-open, easy-to-pour, non-spill pack.
Parmalat.